All right, we're live. We're two guys, T and D&D. I'm Lionel,
I'm Harry.
and we. Yeah, I am not. I was thinking the other day, and I've seen other folks talking about this, but like character voice, like how do we do it? So we thought we'd chat a bit about that today. You know, your first person versus your third person. What do folks have a preference? What do you usually try to do in your game? Myself, I usually try to do the first person. I usually like to be like in character and talk like I'm the character interacting with the NPCs, players, and whatnot. However, I find myself oftentimes shifting to a third person to the point where I'll actually catch myself and say, wait, no, I. And I just think that's interesting. You know, my preference, of course, is to be that first person, giving that point of view for everybody else, like I am the character. What about you, Harry? What do you follow? Or where do you fall on that?
I try and go in first person. I'm not a very experienced player, and I start off in first person, and then I sort of I hear myself talk, get really self-conscious about it, and then switch to third person because it sounds a little bit less silly. I mean, the whole notion of role-playing can be a bit silly if you're looking in at it from outside. Obviously it's not, but it's just the way my brain somehow works. And being around new people that I've just met also doesn't help. So I'm nervous to impress them, or at least not make them look shameful.
You're afraid that you're gonna. I guess I never thought of that. Oftentimes we're playing with people that we've never played with before, and I know like in a one shot, it's more likely for that to happen versus an ongoing game. I know for me, I guess I don't necessarily think so much about the other people I'm playing with and what they might be thinking, but for me, like I said, definitely if I'm doing a one shot, oftentimes I'm not really sure. I might think I have a voice for this character. I might try to bring that in there, but I'm not consistent with it. I may not be comfortable with it. I can think of a few sessions, one-shot sessions that I've played, and I think if you were to watch the beginning of the one-shot and see at the end of the one-shot, you'd be like, wow, is that even the same guy? Because you're talking the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is I think we can oftentimes be our worst critic, and we'll critique our accent or we'll critique our role play, whether it's out loud or in our head. And that, I know for me, I just speak for myself, I know for me that'll sometimes influence how engaged I am. But I always struggle anyways with a one shot really getting animated in my role play. But I find in my longer games, like mini campaigns or campaigns, I'm much more animated. I know who that character is. I kind of like, before I even start playing, I'm like already in their boots.
Yeah. I mean, when I was just been in Mike, the Piper's session for one of his campaigns, I want to watch it back so I can see where to improve myself, but I can't barely bear watching myself play, because I know my accent needed lots of work. Apparently doing a Londoner accent and keeping it Londoner is quite difficult, unless you're Mike, obviously, because that guy is great at accents. And Chad as well, something you'll learn from them, actually.
Yeah.
I'll do accents. But I just I want to go back and watch it, but I can't, because I know I switched from first person to third person a lot because I was self-conscious about it. Because the people that we're playing with are just leagues ahead of me in experience, and wow. So maybe Mike are about the same, but they're really experienced players, so it's sort of hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, I think that can be tough. I think when you start thinking those about those sorts of things. I
Yeah.
remember, I played in some games with definitely some more experienced players, like especially on the online, and it takes a while to kind of shake off those jitters, especially if you like follow them. Like I think of
Yeah.
like a Barker type player, or a Mike, or a
Yeah.
Chad, and it's like they just do something, and then it comes to you, and you're like, "Holy crap, pressure is on now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably got
So I
myself
think
in it.
that can be tough for sure.
All right. So thinking about actually, yeah, playing as a player, how in character do you like to get when you're playing?
Oh, I love it. I love the role play. I think Tim Kearney had was welcoming a new member on AbTab Facebook page, and so and that was one of the questions, like what style of play do you like? And I like a heavy role play with with the intrigue, not the black and white. All right, go and kill these guys, bring them back, get your reward. I like something that it's not always it's grayer. Is that really a good king? Are these
Yeah.
really good people? And I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on like sort of how much I get in character does depend on if anyone else is in the house listening in. Um, Again, self-conscious about it. Like they must be thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? Um, like, what is he on? Why is he talking in this weird voice about killing goblins or something?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but if I was home alone or something, then I'd try and get a lot more in character and rarely talk as a player. I think I quite
right.
like that. Stay focused in um, as much as possible.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to hang this this little sign on your door and say, "Please disregard what you hear because I'm not crazy. I'm just playing a game."
Yeah,
Yeah, I found that when it's quiet at my house, I live in the country in the middle of nowhere, so as far as getting loud, it's not a big deal. But uh, yeah, but even that sometimes, it's like, well, what are people gonna think? I got a little goblin sticking his head into the corner of the
yeah.
screen
So,
here.
um,
But
yeah, going on to that. Going on from that, do you use a voice or do you try and like do an accent or do you just change your voice?
I usually just I try to do the accents. I'm better at some than others. I really probably my most successful ones is doing like a kind of a French type accent.
Oh,
Um,
we
yeah,
offend everyone.
obviously like a Russian, kind of a Slav was
Yeah.
something I've done before. But I just change like tone and speed is what I usually try to do. It's the easiest thing for me to just make it like a voice higher, lower, slower, faster, to try to convey who the character is. Because when I try accents, I just have a hard time consistently carrying the accent through.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't stop me from trying. I still try. I think on broadcast games, I think I'm less likely to do that because my fear of being
Hmm.
inconsistent and all over the place. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've
So
cornered myself in Mike's game. I went for that Londoner accent, and it's bad, but I've got to stick with it now. Um, I can't change it. Um, but it's something I need to work on anyway. I try and do accents because if they're done well, I mean, you don't have to worry about making sure your voice is deep all the time or slightly higher or more excited. You can just switch accent, and that's a lot easier to tell the difference between the player and the character. Um, but
yeah,
I have like either deepened my voice or slowed down my speech in the past, and it does work for at least distinguishing between player and character. I think that's the most important bit. As long as everyone else can tell the difference, I think it's whatever works really. Um, so do you find that you run out of voices when you're GMing if you've got too many NPCs or? you tend to just recycle a few? Just use the GM voice.
I definitely recycle a few. But I think one of the other challenges could be is, especially for like the walk-on NPCs, like, you know, that random person in the marketplace. You know, remembering what that voice is if he shows back up again. I think you have some recurring NPCs. I think it's easy to do that, but then it's still a struggle.
Yeah, I always write down in my GM notes next to an NPC what voice they used, so that you just when if they ever meet them again, you they won't have a completely different voice. Yes, that's the most important thing I think when you're GMing. Don't use
Yeah, I try.
different voices for the
Yeah,
same NPC.
I definitely try that, but and it's a lot easier if you're just doing like a one shot or a two shot game.
Yeah,
Hold on.
that's okay. Um, I shall sit here awkwardly. So, if you guys have any particular voices you like to use, or uh, sort of if you change, if you whether you change your voice instead of using accents, just comment down below. Be interesting to hear. And if you've got any tips about how to do various accents or various voices, or getting over that fear of messing up, be great to hear from you.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you want, leave a comment. Share your own experiences with character voice, GM voice. We'd love to hear it. Give us a like, and happy gaming. Oh, and make sure you have some tea.
yeah. Keep drinking.